I picked up this Timothy grass, and I'm gonna put it in my walkways to walk on. And so right now I have like 280 something square feet, and I have a spot over here that I could make a shorter one. I still want to keep a path going to the gate, and I've been keeping track of my plans, so I have edits to do on here to revise some of the measurements and the layout, and then I will be selecting what I will grow in each of the beds. And in all of my tilling, I found this one piece of wood that's managed to survive in there for who knows how long, but it was down, a good way, so it's not from when we've been here. And it's hard, but I don't know, maybe there was something out here at some point. But this temporary fence will be replaced with a permanent fence, so it's not fully structured right now. See, I have some down already on these back beds. So when you see this fence, these are what I reference to as the back beds. This is the north side of the garden. These trees have not been trimmed up yet. I have been salvaging every bit of shade I can get because it is Texas, hot and humid. It's overcast today. The sun will probably come out, but it's 9 in the morning. It's 75, which is nice if the wind would just blow a little bit. Otherwise, it's kind of sticky. All these sucker trees love to grow along the fence line, and this one, yep, is coming down. This one is coming down. There goes Makito. Good morning, Makito. Makito, hey, say hi. Say hi to everybody. That's a good boy. You got Timothy grass on your face. You happy? Yeah, he's happy for now, but he'll get hot. He's 14 and he loves to play outside, but it gets too hot. And he comes in here and walks around with me, but I think he's trained now to not do his little potty thing over here on the garden side. So I give him lots of extra love when he does his thing over on the other side. That way he can come and keep me company and behave himself. So he's a very mannered dog most of the time. And the mosquitoes are just awful today. They must be just starving hungry because I have spray on. I don't like to use spray, but until these mosquitoes go away, I have to use something so I'm gonna work on this Timothy grass and finish the walkways, and then we're finally graduating to put some components into the soil. So components, like it's a computer, but to put some compost and some green sand. I have chicken manure. I have cotton burr compost. So these are some of what I have so far to put out here. It's not going to be enough, but you have to kind of watch your budget and see what you can accomplish with the amount of money you can spend. And I've never used the cotton burr compost, but it was recommended online and as an alternative in my book that I've been using as a reference. I looked at quite a few different books, and the one that I am liking, the book, so you got to read it, but is this one. So it's the Postage Stamp Vegetable Garden. So a long time ago we had victory gardens, which everyone was encouraged by the government to have a victory garden to survive and supplement, because there were food shortages. And now we're starting to see food shortages, and if it is available, it's getting ever so more and more and more expensive. like it? You like the garden? Yeah, you like being out here, don't you? You need a summer haircut. It's too hot now for all this long winter hair. Right. Boy, beautiful boy. Okay, go. Go. What are you gonna do? Go. Run. Run, run, run. Run. There he goes. And I have these 3 front beds, 4x11, 4x11, and 7x11 on that third one. The compost bins over there, which I will do another video about that. So today is add nutrients in here. I have tilled these beds. I have 3 more beds in the back here. So those are 4x9, 4x9, and 5x9. So in total I have like 280-ish square feet. I'll start with the front 3 beds. And so I've got cotton burr compost, since my compost is not ready yet, and chicken manure. So chicken manure is called a hot manure, and your cow manure is a cold manure. And then here is the bone meal. So the bone meal is for the phosphorus. You do get some phosphorus in the animal manures, but so bone meal and blood meal. I'm trying to stay away from the chemicals, so I'm using whatever natural stuff I can get. And so the blood meal is for the nitrogen, and that also is in the manures as well. And then for the potassium, you can use wood ash. This we burnt down the branches of the sucker trees and stuff that we had 2 summers ago, and I kept it in a bucket. You want to keep it out of the rain, because if you just have it in a pile, the rain will wash away all of the potassium in it. You can buy potash in a bag at the garden center or a feed store, but a 5-gallon bucket is roughly 4 or 5 pounds of ash. And then I got this green sand to try out, so I'm actually going to use a little bit of all of these in these beds, and because the green sand will have a lot of other nutrients in it besides the potassium. So this is the blood meal, and so this is what the blood meal looks like. So the blood meal is the nitrogen, and this bone meal is for phosphorus. I'm going to show you what that looks like. It's very, very fine powder. So this is the phosphorus. And then I have wood ash. And there's a few little sticks left in there, but my husband burnt this, the trees that we took down, branches and so forth. So I'm going to put some of my compost in here. This will help me break it up better. And then it says, so I do like 2 pounds. So I think this will be good. So that, I do see an ant or 2 in here, not too many. So I have that I can mix. So it's a little tip up right here. So I'm just going to use like a quarter of it. A bone meal bag. This bag weighs, where is it, 20 pounds. I just need like an eighth or less of this. Of my wood ash in here. Make myself some notes so that I know what I did. So this is bed 1. Okay. I'm gonna mix this together so I can spread it around. I got some new hand tools from Ollie's for really cheap. This is a Miracle Grow one. A lot of them have a shorter handle on them, and so I liked this one, so I'll be able to reach a little bit further. And so let's give it a good mix. And you know that green sand is that wet stuff. So I'm going to mix this pretty good. With my hands now. See, and this will be a lot easier to spread over this garden bed and work it in. I'll have to break it up with the hoe a little bit, but I've tilled this bed about 8 to 10 inches below the ground level, and then because it's tilled and it gets aerated, it actually comes up about another 2 inches. Could use a metal rake, which I do have one, but to get this started I'm going to use a hoe, and I'll primarily use the corner, not the flat edge. I'm going to use the corner to break it up again. And I want to break it up about 4 or 5 inches deep. And right here, break it up some more. Using that corner, so this is a lot faster and a lot deeper. So I'll show you just how quick that was. Again, these are... So here's the half that I've done with the hoe, and here's the half that I have not. So this is still, you know, kind of hard. It's like this top I can move away, but then you get to this firm part. And over here, now it's loose. So I will break it up the rest of the way. I'll level it out with the metal rake, and then we'll add all our goodies to it. And I still have some more compost, but I want to kind of spread these nutrients over this garden bed right here and kind of get it even, and then I'll add that and I'll keep mixing it in. So I'm excited about it. Today's the day to start cutting down some of this shade, but I want to cut down these sucker trees back here. Yes, some of them are quite tall, but the branches are really not all that thick. So I'm going to cut them down. I'm going to work my way through them. I have a pole saw, just an 8-inch pole saw. And so today's the day, and we'll get some sunshine in here. I'm standing right in the middle, and it's 10 in the morning. But come high noon, it gets pretty shady with just patchy filtered sun. And then the setting sun, there's more trees on this side. So I will trim what I can reach, and then what I can't, we will have to eventually hire somebody. But I try to do as much as possible myself to be frugal. Yes, frugal. You got to save every bit you can, because somebody wants it, and you can't really spend it more than once. Right? As you can see, this bed is now has pretty much full sun, and this one is getting lots of sun. These are my half-price plants that I got. So they're looking pretty good, and they're gonna get planted today. This one is the Whopper tomato. Once my garden gets really established, maybe next year I'd like to plant more heirloom, kind of more interesting color variants and bumpy whatever. Just they're beautiful in their own way. This one says a black creme. This one's an heirloom. This one just says husky red cherry. So small, and these are the little tiny sweet 100s. And we've got a few flowers on here, some marigolds, and I don't know, this one is Better Boy. I think there's a Big Boy, but this one's Better Boy. A pepper plant. This one's a pepper, California Wonder. And then this one is an eggplant. So the leaves looking pretty healthy. My tomato plants are already attracting stink bugs. And this is what a stink bug does to your tomato. So if you ever see some like recessed part of the skin, that's what they are doing. So, but since there is a fruit, this bush, then the bush is pretty healthy. The leaves are looking good, and it's still in a pot, but I need to plant it. So I'll get that going. This is also a pepper plant, and does it have a tag? Yeah, it just says pepper. So that one says California Wonder. This one says California Wonder. I need to get some sweet multicolor type peppers, because I buy from the grocery store lots of those. So back here you see, ta-da, sunshine, lots and lots of sunshine. So there's the first bed back here, and then bed number 2 on the back row, and bed number 3 on the back row. And right now it's 11:56. So we've got lots of sunshine, and it's looking good. So let's see how it goes. Oh yeah, there's my sad little shed. But wait a year from now, let's see how it all looks. So it's a work in progress. So just spare me a little grace for now until we can get it all done. Okay, in my bucket, I'm going to put about a pound of this green sand. So put that, and this scale, I actually got this at a church fundraiser for a mission, and they had get a bag for $5 to fill it, and I only found a few things, but I got a few children's books and this scale for my $5, and so it works great. So with my bowl, that puts it back. And if you ever find one of these and you think it's off, there's usually a little wheel that you can adjust the needle for with nothing on here or with some type of bowl to hold what you're putting on it. So for the first, I'm going to do them one bed at a time. So I've got my green sand and it's kind of wet. It just feels kind of gritty, but it really has no smell. I can't really smell anything from that. And I'm gonna put a couple scoops of my wood ash, and maybe one good scoop and a half a scoop. Put that in here, and my bone meal. So this is for vegetables, 2 pounds over a 30 square foot. And the first bed is 9 by 5. So we have 45 square feet. So it says 2 pounds for 30 square feet. So
that was about a third of a pound for that scoop. Try not to bleed all this powder.
So that should be good. A lot of powder. And this blood meal. So 2 pounds for 100 square feet. So I need just less than a pound. And look how rich and dark black, kind of a reddish black. It's not quite a pound, but I also don't have 50 square feet. So that's good. And that's for the nitrogen. So the phosphorus is your middle number on your fertilizer, and the bone meal has a 10, and the nitrogen has the first digit in your fertilizer, and it has the number 12. Here's some noises. A couple houses away, they are adding a room on the back, and yeah, they're sawing right now. So just don't know when it's going to be noisy or when it's going to be quiet. But so that is these 3 elements, and then I need a pound, not quite a pound and a half, like a pound and a quarter of the chicken manure. It will turn back to mush. This is just kind of a light to medium brown color. Dry. That is almost a half a pound. Of course, if I had this in a different container, I could probably get to it better. And I need about a pound and a quarter for this first bed. There, that's good.
This green sand is wet, so I try to keep the lid on when I'm not using it. So here
Are all of these elements besides the compost that I will be mixing in. So like the bone meal and the blood meal is very fine, and then that sand is kind of wet and mucky, so I have to mix it in good because you'll have those clumps of the green sand, and then I have wood ash, so there's some chunks of like charcoal from the wood. So you saw in the previous clip, I have this mixture with my bone meal and my blood meal, wood ash, green sand, chicken manure pelletized, and this will go over these. Now the other ones that you saw in the previous clip, that I used chicken manure compost. So it had compost with manure, and it had like chunks of wet manure in it from the chicken manure. And so I had to mix that, kind of like when you're baking and you have dry ingredients and wet ingredients, or if you're mixing in, say, shortening into flour, and you have to kind of cut it in to break it up. That's kind of what I had to do with the chicken manure. Peppers, some spinach. I'm gonna grow some spinach over here, and some kale, because I look to see what likes to be friends in the same garden bed. And so those were the things that kind of go together. And the spinach variety that I have is a short spinach. It's not a vine type spinach. I'll have to order that for maybe the fall, because I've seen some videos that it looks like that would be good, and I would get more production on a vine going upright than on the ground. That's already looking good. Now I'm gonna mix it in. If I just use a metal rake, I'm not gonna get deep enough. Once I get this mixed, I'm gonna drink me a bunch of water, and then I'll go to the next one. I'll probably get the elements on it, and eat some lunch, because I'm hungry and thirsty, and because I'm hot and sweating, it's making my nose run. So, but it's all good. I talked to my garden the other day when I was working so hard tilling. I was just working so hard. My body hurt so bad. I think I pulled some stuff in the bottom of my toes. And so I had a little conversation with my garden, as if it can hear me. And told it, you better turn out good for all this work I'm doing. I sure hope it produces a lot of good food, because we like to eat. Yeah, I have about 9 days of June left. And then I have July, August, September, October, November. So I have 5 months of time that I can harvest once it grows. Yep. Okay, here we go. Everything has their nutrients in each of the 6 beds. And now I'm watering. Yes, the sun is out a lot, but as you see, there's some shade. It's 3:36, but there's not any plants in these beds yet. There's a few plants down there that are in the shade, and they've been in the shade for a while. So some of this water is hitting my compost. That's a good thing because we're not getting any rain and it takes water to break down the compost. And so I'm gonna let this sit probably for an hour and come back and check it. And it'll probably take a couple of hours for this first watering. This dirt, which is now soil, it was dirt before, but it's now soil, was so dry and just crumbly in your hands. Tomorrow morning, if I don't get rained on by the sprinkler, tomorrow morning I can start planting. So, yep, we'll kind of get through this sprinkler. This is the front third bed, the third one on the front row, and that one's 7 by 11. So then the second one, going backwards here, second one on the front row, that's 4 by 11, and this one's 4 by 11. And then back here I have 5 by 9, 4 by 9, and 4 by 9. And my few little plants, everything else will be seed unless I come across something. A couple bales of hay, so I can spread over my seeded area, and the rest of this walkway over here to keep from anything growing, to keep my chores down. I don't need any more work than the part that I want to do, which is the fun part, all of this. So finally I get to go take a shower. It's hot and it's been a good day. I got a late start due to computer problems this morning, but you just keep going, pick up where you can, and that's what I got. All right, I'll see y'all after a while.